out here, it's nature in all its glory.
I never cease to be amazed by the power of this land to rejuvenate itself.
See, water is out there. Floods of almost biblical proportion, and with floods comes a new burst of life.
Witnessing this magnificent recovery on such a grand scale is humbling.
Up here you can see the vastness of all that water coming down from the north, and this is just the beginning.
For the past 3 months, we've been following the rise and fall of the floodwaters as they resuscitate Australia's dead heart. This is a story about the return of life.
Wow.
The return of loved ones.
My God, it's amazing.
And the return of hope, where for many, there was none.
Towards the end of 2009, we were getting dust storms every week, coming in like tidal waves from the west.
Scott and Paula Fraser are third-generation beef and sheep farmers.
It was just red. Everywhere you looked was red. Every time there was a gust of wind, there was dust. It just filled the house with dust, filled the sheds.
6 months ago, they were preparing to walk off their property near Thargomindah in southwest Queensland. They made home movies of their hardship.
Just here a few days ago and it's just a mess of bull dust. Just a darn mess.
This is a dry country out here, but you don't think that you're going to have 9 years of dry times. That's probably what we've probably found hardest to come to terms with.
Kangaroos by the thousands. The place is just crawling.
Their farm was stripped bare and the Frasers were forced to sell their cattle. But then, at their lowest moment, nature delivered. On Boxing Day, the heavens opened in far north Queensland.
The thing about living out here is you need to enjoy being a pauper one day and a rich man the next, and that about sums us up out here.
Soon the waters turned into floods and the soaking of the Channel Country began. A long-awaited drenching after 9 long years of heat and dust.
It's so slow moving, the drought. It creeps up on you and you live in it, you work with it, you swim with it. Then you break out the door and have a look at the green grass. Yeah, wow, I've just gone to heaven.
Scott and Paula's struggling farm, 4 parched states and vast reaches of our continent have welcomed the flowing waters.
The water every week down here, it's just changing all the time, and it's been a real privilege. This just gives me great joy every week. I feel like I've got one of the best jobs in the world, mate.
On the planet's longest mail run, postie Tom O'Donnell has a bird's eye view of the rapid changes brought by the rains.
Beautiful big changes in a way that, makes this country just come totally alive, and the river system's flowing beautifully and the wildlife coming back, the greenery,
Colours,
the water, the colours, the mixing of the water and the desert right next to it, just stuff that you thank God and you thank you've been able to see, So.
Yeah. From up here, Australia's biggest sand dunes have become islands on the edge of the Simpson Desert. Tom flies 2,000 kilometres a week, and right now, this is the only way to deliver the mail and supplies to many of the communities isolated by the floods.
So, Lani, has changed much around here in the last couple of months?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's very, very green and there's a lot of water. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
The swollen rivers are nature's highways, and they've been carrying an invasion of wildlife to Australia's newest wetlands.
People need to get away from floods being terrible things that cause big damage. They're also wonderful things that make our country, beautiful.
Joining me as my guide in this watery wonder is Professor Richard Kingsford.
Welcome to paradise.
Paradise, all right. I mean, it's good to see fresh water flowing for a change.
Richard is one of Australia's leading environmental scientists, and he's taking me to a place rarely seen, a secret wetland in the far northwest of New South Wales.
It's real magic that happens out here because you get, as we've seen with this, massive amount of rain up in the top of the catchment, and then that causes some devastation up there, but then comes down here and it's moving slowly through this landscape and doing incredible good in terms of the way Australia functions.
Herons, ibis, egrets follow the floodwaters that spawn all kinds of creatures, great and small.
There are hundreds and thousands of tiny crustaceans, things like water fleas and copepods and...
Those are sort of like those little pet monkeys you used to have as a kid.
Yeah, that's right. You just add water. Yeah, and those are the eggs. So
what do you call those monkeys?
Sea monkeys.
Sea monkeys, yeah. Used to send away for them as like a powder and you put water and their little things come out. Do you mean those sort of little things?
Yeah, but lots of different species. There are even crabs out here, freshwater crabs.
Really?
Yeah. And shrimps, of course, and yabbies. So there's lots of food, and that's what really makes this place hum. The thing about these birds is that basically they need a big flood to really get going. And so all that food, they're basically evolved to take advantage of this real boom in food abundance.
Listen to this.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're right in the middle of the colony now.
All that splashing you can hear is the cormorants falling out of the trees and landing in the water and then escaping across the surface of the water. Wow, look at this. These are little black cormorants. No. Use oars.
Okay.
These inland waters are the home to a new generation of life.
It's actually a real challenge as an environmental scientist here because so much happens.
Water everywhere. Well, it's great for the wildlife and for the farmers who've been waiting for these big floods, but now the farmers have to wait some more just for the waters to recede so they can restock their country. I'm with you, boss.
It's taken weeks for the floodwaters to subside, but the road trains are finally moving in, and we're on board with the special delivery for the Frasers.
We're nearly there. We've got some little moo cows for you. Are you ready for your cattle?
Yeah, we've been waiting 6 weeks for this, so we can wait a bit longer.
Hey, mate! We got a bunch of cattle here for you!
With their red paddocks now green, we're delivering 300 head, the beginning of a new herd.
Come out and check your cattle out. Paul, how is?
Yeah, Scott.
Lovely to see you, mate. Yeah, we thought I'd bring out a couple of little moojos for you.
It's good to be here. Good to see people like Scott and Paula being given another chance when things looked so bleak only a few months ago. And the floodwaters are about to bring something else back to the farm.
I'll grab the keys. Got everything?
Yep, everything.
Oh, you grab the door, let's go.
The kids are coming home.
We good to go home?
David and Georgie Fraser now live in Brisbane, and this will be the first time they've ever seen the farm so blooming good.
Well, for us to head home and not have seen the place like this in our whole lives, 20 and 19 years of just seeing the place, as we thought what was looking good was, the occasional greening of grass for a few weeks after rain and it'll die straight off, and we already have expectations of what we think it is, and for it to be up here it's just going to be amazing.
Hello, Davey.
How are you?
Well, thanks.
How are you? How was the trip?
The kids are going to be starstruck or dumbfounded, I'm not too sure. Even myself at the moment, just watching them from nothing, like they will have seen nothing, and then they're going to come back and it's going to be there,
You have to sit and I'm just riding shotgun for the gates.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, I think they'll drive around with their mouth open, but they'll have to be careful. There's a lot of flies around the moment.
Wow. Wow. Massive. Massive. It's like a little tunnel.
I just know Georgie's reaction will be driving down that road. She's going to want to stop the car, Dad, let me get out. It'll be the favourite expression. OMG. Oh my God, have a look at this.
There you go, Georgie, what do you reckon?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Remember, for most of their lives, all they've known is dirt and despair.
I honestly never thought I'd see it like this.
You never really even see grass here.
Yeah, this is the paddock that's usually bare.
They tried to explain it, but you can't explain that over the phone.
The rains have brought opportunity, and it's time for the Frasers to cash in. The hardjackers just begun.
I always said, you know, there's money in mud, and at the moment we've got plenty of mud. So let's hopefully the money flows in a couple of years and we get a bit of a run at this stuff.
My main line during the drought was how we must have just taken so much for granted in years gone by. You know, you realise how lucky you are to have this.
Across these great Australian plains, the floods have delivered joy and hope. For farmers, families and wildlife, these are the happiest of times.
These are, if you like, the arteries down through our continent. And they really do need these mega floods because everything gets triggered.
Ernie, the longer the wait, the sweeter the victory, you know what I mean?